Hey guys, and welcome back to Hoosier Hardware, and today we're taking a look at this Dell Optiplex. This is a Haswell based system, but I want to see how easy this thing would be to actually transplant into a brand new case. And the reason we're looking at this is I have tried to crack the code with these things before with the error messages you get if you don't have all of the proprietary stuff plugged in. But it seems that Brian from Techy cracked the code at least with the 2nd gen Intel based system. So I want to see if I can apply what he did to these Haswell based systems, basically to tell you whether or not these Haswell based systems are worth picking up if you plan on transplanting them over to a brand new case. Let's get into that right after a word from today's video sponsor, and that is the Coldest Water. And throughout the month of November, the Coldest Water has been doing their blackout sale where you've been able to get up to 50% off of select items and then 20% off of just everything that you wanted from their website. So we are at the end of November, so if you're looking to get some very nice and discounted Coldest Water bottles, go ahead and head to thecoldestwater.com/blackout where you can use code blackout for 20% off site-wide. We are at the end of November, so hurry there if you're looking to get, a fantastic water bottle that keeps your water cold literally all day long. I use these things all the time, both at work and at home. They're fantastic. Links are in the description down below. Now, as we get into this, there is a bit of required watching before you can really fully appreciate the process I'm going to be talking about, and that is the video from Techy that talks about how to do this entire process with a 2nd generation Intel based system from Dell. So if you are a little bit confused about what I'm talking about here with getting this system recased and what it would take to get 0 errors upon boot, you need to go and watch his video first, and I will make sure to link it down below. And while you're there, by the way, you should absolutely subscribe to Techy because it's a fantastic channel. Now, to give you a quick overview of some of the difficulties that exist in getting these Optiplex systems into another chassis. First and foremost, there are several sensors around the motherboard that will throw an error code if you don't have them plugged in. Now, fortunately for us, most of these sensors are actually quite small. For instance, you have this intrusion sensor that is, very small. You could tuck that away in like a power supply basement or something like that very easily, and then tape the button down. You might even be able to just use a jumper. I haven't actually tested that. Then there's a couple of sensors up front with this Dell machine that you can just very easily, again, pull out of the machine, just tuck away somewhere in your new chassis, and it'll be good to go. Where I've always got hung up though on these Optiplex systems, because I did actually at one point try to sort of solve this little puzzle, and obviously unsuccessfully, is with the power button and with the front panel I/O. Now, I cannot remember if I solved the power button just through troubleshooting or not, but the solution presented by Brian from Techy seems to work. So I apologize that it's a little bit difficult to see down in there, but if you see, I have 2 wires coming off of those middle 2 pins on the power button assembly here, and those are my jumper wires. And what I found is when I have those 2 middle pins jumped, just like Techy indicated, when you actually hit those power pins for the actual button, which are the 2 right pins that are currently not on anything, then you get rid of the power button error altogether. So the solution that Techy found for the 2nd generation Intel based Dell Optiplex power button situation is exactly the same on these Haswell based ones as well. You just need a jumper on those middle 2 pins, and then you can use just a regular power button on those far right pins, and you're good to go on that front. Now, the bigger issue that I've always run into, because the power button ultimately, if you really wanted to do even some soldering, you could probably have ripped out the original power button from the Optiplex system and somehow rigged it into the new chassis. The big hang-up for me has always been the front panel I/O, which depending on what machine you have may incorporate the USB ports, either part of the USB ports, all of the USB ports. It really depends whether it has USB 3.0, which this machine does, so there is a separate little connector for that, which is actually really nice that the Haswell motherboards have a USB 3.0 header on them. But the front panel I/O, if it is not plugged in, it will also throw an error code. Now, fortunately, the video from techy City once again came in handy. And similarly, also the exact same as the techy City sort of tutorial on the 2nd gen based Dell Optiplexes, this front panel connector, if you count from the right to the 4th pin, both top and bottom, so pins 7 and 8, going from right to left, then you need to just jump those 2 pins, and you also lose that front panel error when you actually boot up the PC, and we'll take a look at what that looks like right now. All right, I have my 2 pins for the front panel down there, as well as the power button jumped. Let me just tap this. Okay, PC comes alive, and let's see. Dell splash screen. And we get no errors whatsoever. So that is the solution right there. And there it is. It turns out these Haswell-based Optiplexes may actually be solid options for transplanting into new cases, at least these mid-tower ones that use a micro ATX motherboard. You just have to make sure to transplant things like the fans as well as all these little sensors. But as far as the front I/O goes, there is a workaround there to make sure there's no error with that, as well as the power button, so you can just rig up the normal power button to this motherboard. Now, it is worth mentioning with the front panel I/O, there is a USB 3.0 header on this motherboard. I don't know if it's 100% standard, and I have not tested it yet with a different case, which I am planning to actually recase this system now that I know I can, but I have not yet tested that with a actual standard connector, because the one that Dell uses has this little clip. I don't know that this is gonna change anything with the actual header on the motherboard, but I haven't tested that out, so buyer beware on that front. And then for the audio on the front panel, you may need to do exactly what Brian from techy City did and just add a dedicated sound card into the machine, and just find one that does have a connector for front panel audio. That's probably the easiest workaround for that solution if you do really need your audio. If you don't need audio on the front panel, then no big deal. The last thing to be aware of with these Haswell-based systems is you do need a power supply adapter, because Dell in the Haswell generation went away from the standard 24-pin ATX connector. They are pretty cheap in general, and I'll try to remember to link one down in the description down below in case you have one of these machines and you're looking to upgrade the power supply like I have here. But otherwise, with these workarounds in place, you can absolutely get one of these motherboards into a different case while maintaining absolutely no error codes upon boot. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. So if you're looking forward to seeing this thing recased into a different chassis, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and by the way, comment down below if there is a micro ATX, preferably budget chassis out there that you would love to see one of these Dell Optiplexes recased into. Otherwise, I will make sure to queue up another video from my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware. I'll see you guys in the next video.